Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us again on the SALTovation podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's nice to be back with you guys. You all run a great firm, and it's important.
Thank you.
It's important to help.
So for those that didn't join us the first time, Scott's background is available in our first episode in the very, very beginning of our archives. He was one of our first guests. So we are just going to jump right into it this time. So Scott, what are some of the key policy issues that you are currently following and working on over at Avalara?
Thank you. First and foremost, we're trying to keep. It's not really a policy issue. We've gotten so big that it's critical for us to understand the administrative changes that happen around the country.
Right.
And so my job, first and foremost, is to be in contact with these states, convincing them that, A, we are a great test case. You're going to change something, ask us to help you test it, because we can throw thousands and thousands of examples at you. Whatever it is, we can throw thousands at it. Second, Don't make a change and not tell us.
Right.
Don't, for heaven's sakes, change your bank account and not tell us. Don't change the style of your form, your sales tax form or your lodging tax form without telling us. Don't do like one little town in Colorado did this spring, this late winter.
Which one, Monument?
Yes. And decide that on a Tuesday, you're going to stop collecting your tax.
Yep.
Okay, but you know how many returns that messes up throughout the rest of the year?
Yep.
So that's my first thing. It's not a policy thing, but it's more of an administrative thing. It's those are the things that create havoc.
Yes.
Normally, and mostly because they're surprises. Rarely do we get a policy thing that comes out of nowhere.
Correct. Yep. No, there's ample ramp.
Yeah.
Yep.
This year, I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere this year, but we kind of all got overwhelmed on January 1st of this year. I mean, we had Illinois going from whatever funky thing they had for sourcing.
Evening the playing field? Yeah.
Even the playing field.
Uh-huh.
We had 6,000 customers that had to switch.
Oh, I believe it. And then you got to change the account. It's not a matter of just changing the tax. It's a matter of freaking figure out how to give it to the government.
That's right.
Yep. And that's like an hour and a half tax, depending.
So we had that. We had, on top of that, we had all the changes that Chicago did in their tax rates. Those all affect our customers.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Louisiana raising the state tax rate and starting to tax digital goods and requiring every parish plus parish e-file plus your remote seller commission plus the state changing their tax return.
Oh my gosh!
January 1
was that comprehensive. That's crazy.
Yeah, and these were all policy things. So this would be something that I would have followed. And they're policy things, not because I want people to do things. I don't care what they tax. We don't care what they tax. Exempt, tax, whatever you want.
Just tell us, so we can make it in a matrix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is.
Yep.
Tell us when it starts, and give us as much notice as you can.
Yeah.
So that's this is Illinois, we have an amazing working relationship with the state of Illinois. The Department of Revenue there, they like us, and we have regular check-ins with them.
Oh, wow! Okay.
It is so beneficial for them and for us. They have made changes into their processing system simply because the things that they wanted to do that they never could get up the priority list on their IT calendar until they brought us in, and we said to them, well, this is 9,000 customers we're talking about. And so if this doesn't change, you've got 9,000 things you have to do every month.
Yep.
And if you make this one change, you just eliminated 9,000 different things that you have to do every month.
That's fantastic.
And it's the same thing when they went even the playing field. I mean, we had 7,000 customers that had to change.
Right. Well, just imagine there's millions of vendors.
Oh, yeah, millions of vendors.
Still.
Yeah.
And millions of companies are out of compliance in Illinois.
Yep.
We struggle.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Still out of, it's horrible. And I mean, we still find them. What we did was we said, okay, here's the deal. You got, how many are you going to change? They said, we're going to change like 32,000. And we said, well, we're 7,000, those 32,000. We should talk.
Yeah.
And so we actually, we sat down and they told us the parameters. We looked through our system, found the people we thought met those parameters. We compared notes so that when we changed people on January 1, it was because the state of Illinois told us that person needs to change. That person needs to change. Don't change that person. So now the one and our customers, I think we had. So we gave all of our customers notice, and we told them what we were going to do.
Yep.
And we said, if this isn't what you want, tell us.
Yep.
We had 7 out of 7,000.
Well, that is amazing because you're exactly right. Like when we go in, we have to, depending on what our relationship with our client is, we don't know how they activated their account. So we have to go into the account, see how they're set up as a vendor, see what jurisdictions are available to them because of setup. And then we might have to make that manual change in the Illinois system or other state systems, and then go back in the software. And, there's a mismatch sometimes between the Nexus configurations and your guys' system that people don't understand, and the reporting. Yeah. And so that was great. They shared that with you, so you could do that faster.
Unbelievable. For us,
because if you had to go into 7,000 accounts, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
An hour an account?
No, yeah. So thankfully, we were able to automate that process. So we set up a little script that effectively ran at midnight on December 31st and switched everybody 1 second after midnight on January 1.
That is power.
It was.
That's amazing.
So that kind of stuff.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. And, honestly, that's why it's fun to come to work, because things are actually starting to go the way they should go, the way they would go if we were to know what we know now, start over, design it from scratch, we'd have it work this way.
Yeah. But you can't know that totally, because every client's unique and all the things. So, you kind of learn through volume and trial and error, and then you develop and grow, and then you get synergies. But you also have a platform where you can use that numbers to make an impact, because states don't care about the onesie twosies. That's the thing we struggle with the most. And of course, every company cares about themselves a lot. But the state's like, take a ticket, man. You're like 1 of 32,000. You're just not that important to us. We only have so much bandwidth. So that you can show that kind of volume, that gets their attention. Like, you should listen to us. We actually might be able to help you here.
Yeah,
that's powerful.
We had an issue in New York a few years ago. State CIO decided that every quarter, everybody that had an account with the state of New York, whether it's with the Department of Health, the Department of Revenue, whatever, everybody had to update their password every quarter. Perfect.
And it had to be like 16 characters and certain somethings. And it was
perfectly rational thing to request. I'm sure you guys have to update your password every quarter. I have to update my password every quarter. Yep. Perfectly rational thing. The Department of Revenue got no more notice than anybody else did. And so all of a sudden, we couldn't get into any of our customers' accounts.
Right.
And the result, we learned a valuable lesson. You start on the first day of the month and not the first day of the filing period. And so it's a long story, but the result was we mailed in paper returns.
Oh, I bet.
Thousands.
I bet.
Of paper returns. The lady from New York called me. She said, we've got these 3 boxes. Are you sending more? Because it freaked them out, because they all had to be worked manually. And they didn't have the staff. They had to call in temporary workers. So they worked.
Did they argue? Did they say, well, we'll go ahead and give you all that information and you can upload the returns? At this point,
changed everything.
The smartest way to do it.
It took us, I think, 3 months to get it all set up and running, but we have completely automated the way returns are filed now in New York, and they're different than completely different than it was before. And now, if we send them a paper return, it's because we've got a customer that we're pretty sure is a New York taxpayer, but we haven't a clue, so we just send them a paper return and say,
right,
we'll help you sort this out, but we have no idea. We know who that person is. We know they collected New York tax. That's all we know.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that's fun. That's powerful. That's really exciting.
It is exciting, and I tell departments of revenue, and not so much them, but their politicians. I tell them all the time: you build systems for that person who owns one store in one town in one state, and you ignore the fact that that person doesn't want to be a taxpayer. They're a taxpayer.
Nope.
That's the last thing they wanted to be, was a taxpayer.
That's right.
And if they look for some way of getting out of that, they choose that. And when they do, they choose us, or they choose you. And you need to build.
We choose you to do the return.
And you need to build a system that works for people who don't want to do that work in the first place.
Yeah, totally.
Nobody volunteers to be a taxpayer.
No. So true. Yeah, and it's an incredible burden that we put on tax-paying community. And then Wayfair is big. Fortunately, it's made everybody more aware of compliance, and they're getting compliant, but they don't even think of the old ways had duties. So they're like, we're a marketplace, or we're this. I'm like, do you understand how your transactions flow through commerce? Because you may be physically present. You may want to be physically present. You may not just be economically present. I just think that's been a good thing from compliance, but the understanding of the obligations is where we kind of come in and provide additional clarity.
Yeah. And that's why having a partnership with y'all is so important for us, because you can do things we can't do.
Yeah.
And then things that you can be very specific, and we can't be very specific. We have to be very general. You have to fit our rules, or we'd love to have you, but if you don't fit our rules, we can't have you because we can't do specific things. I saw that play out. I just presume that they were hoping the legislature would repeal it the next session, and they didn't.
Oh.
So when the legislature went home, they were stuck.
Okay.
Well, and there were some talks this legislative session to get rid of it, but I think the fiscal note on it's too big.
Oh, yeah.
And
at
now
this point.
We're in a trouble state. We're cash short, apparently. We have this $1 billion shortfall in Colorado. So we ain't giving nothing up now.
Yep. And in the Minnesota's the same, they've got, we all presumed that Minnesota would repeal it, and they still might. Their legislature doesn't really act until May.
Okay.
And then they throw they pass one bill in May, and it has everything in it.
Interesting.
And so it could end up there in the last minute, and we wouldn't have a clue until we wake up the next morning. But it's the same deal. It's a lot of money, and
which is really unfair to the people that are providing the revenue.
It's
like, hello.
It goes to, this particular fee is the exact example that I use when I talk to politicians about how the fact that they don't collect taxes. Mm-hmm. They receive them.
Yes.
Departments of Revenue don't collect taxes.
Yeah.
I spent 10 years running the South Dakota sales tax, never collected a penny. My job was to help people. Yeah. My job was to help the people outside the Department of Revenue, help the people who are the real tax collectors. And if you think about, I think about this too much, I suppose, but there's almost no tax that a state or local government collects on its own.
No.
The properties, the closest I can come is to license plates.
Yeah, license plates.
But even then, the county relies on the sheriff and the police to enforce it.
Oh, I see.
So to the extent that if you're a very rural county and your police, you get your police coverage, if you get it all from the neighboring county because they're bigger, they may not ever come over. They may not ever see that the guys driving around your county haven't renewed their licenses.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that's how they have to check it.
Otherwise, all the taxes that get collected in the United States and probably throughout the world are either collected from a consumer, collected from the real taxpayer, you and I, the consumers, by a retailer, or withheld from our income by our employers, or paid on our behalf by our mortgage holder.
Yeah. It's an interesting. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people get the term collect and incorrect.
They do.
Do I have to pay the tax? I'm like, no, you have to collect the tax.
You're collecting.
Yeah. I think people
really
don't understand it.
Then you pay.
Then you pay it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh.
Yeah. Both words are correct. There's a timing issue.
Yeah. Right. You're going to write a check. It depends on whose money is going to be backing that check.
No, don't bring up. Hey, check. Don't bring up checks.
Right.
I was like, I am one of the few people that still write checks because I
pay
my son's. I have to pay my son's, pre-K tuition via check.
I just had someone do some carpet and he took a check.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how to write a check.
Yeah.
Like, how do I write 500? And I'm like, I haven't written a check in so long. I really couldn't write it. It was like, I had to look at other checks in my checkbook to see how it was written.
We write thousands of them a month.
Right.
For all the local lodging taxes around the United States.
Oh, really?
An unbelievable number of local governments in the United States expect you to send them a check.
What a waste.
Well, but that's even like we have there's a couple states, and COVID was great for this, because like in the voluntary disclosure process, you would typically have to like send your data and send along a check. Now, a lot of that process has been, well, okay, give us the data. We'll send you final bill for tax and interest, and then you can go online and pay it. But there are still a few, North Carolina is one and New Jersey is one where you are right, and Pennsylvania here are your physical checks mailed to the jurisdiction. And, some of our non-U.S. taxpayers are like, well, I don't have a checkbook, number one.
What? Checkbook?
Or there's just a lot of organizations that don't really have checks. You have to kind of like almost get the equivalent of like a cashier's check in the modern day version of like, all right, it's got to be issued from the bank to then you need to mail it to here.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, checks are not. I mean, they're not dead.
And it's so. They're cumbersome. You have to have a third party. So there's a cost to us to write a check to somebody.
Yep.
And it goes along with the paper return. There's a local government out there somewhere in the United States that mails us their returns on purple paper, and if we don't send them back that purple paper, they won't accept it.
Oh, God.
This is 30 years ago thinking.
Right. Yeah, well, we have these issues.
Policy perspective and / administrative perspective, that's one of the things that I do is I'm constantly compiling a list of things that we do or that we have to do that seem antiquated or are cumbersome or that you can't automate. We have we don't really have this much at the state level, but at the local government level, we have this a lot where they're very up to date. They've got a wonderful little system that they run their lodging tax on, their meals and beverage tax on. They've outsourced it to a third party who, built the software and runs it. And these third parties aren't accustomed to volume. They're not, they're accustomed to one vacation rental owner sending in their money. So the whole system is, it's all electronic, it's all automated, but it's all built around one person doing one thing. So we come in and we say, well, we represent, the world's largest marketplace of lodging, and we're going to file 3,000 lodging tax returns with you a month. And and we're not going to use your paper. We're not going to write you a check. But we want to use an API that hits your system. And the first thing they do is they say, nope, that API looks like it's coming from India or it's coming from Australia. We're not going to, we automatically block all APIs that look like they come from the outside the United States. So which that means that the only people that can actually file that return are the people that we have in the United States. Which means we have to look at all the returns that we're going to file in a month and say, okay, you are going to do only lodging tax returns in this state because, for the local governments to use this vendor, because this vendor won't accept the API calls from outside the United States.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And so this is a new initiative for this year. We're going to really do a full court press on local governments to get them to
get on board,
to have an appreciation for volume.
Oh. There is a lack of it. I'm just saying, that's the SUTS thing we finally got in Colorado. I mean, I remember when I got involved in that task force 10 years ago, I think you spoke. It's still going on, by the way. I mean, these local mayors would come in. Yeah, we're not having session because that costs like $10,000 for us to go sit in a room that the state owns. I don't understand why it's that expensive, but whatever. Yeah. But these mayors would come in, they're like, don't touch my taxes. And I'm like, we're going to give you more taxes. Do you not understand this? Because you've not simplified it so people don't comply.
Exactly right.
They just don't understand. They don't understand. I mean, I have a hearing on Monday with a city that the company built something in the city. Built it in the city. Never got a license. Didn't know they had to. So we have a hearing because there's no statute. Yeah. So it's not bueno. So that's very common, unfortunately, in a lot of things. that are not really very regulated, if you know what I mean. Like, okay, you have gas, you're a gas station, you got to get a license. You have a convenience store, you get it. But if you're a service provider, like even law firms, I had a ton of clients that were law firms that did not self-assess sales tax on any of their technology.
And it's, I don't know if you follow the MTC's work on digital goods, but there, a lot of that they've been working on the last couple of years is how do you write a language that gives states the ability, a good definition and the ability to tax digital goods and digital services and exclude those that are being purchased by a business.
Correct. Well, there's a huge issue with sourcing on that. We have clients that are software company that buy a bunch of software to add to their software. So those purchases should be for resale.
Should be.
And then the ultimate consumer, and then they don't invoice it right? They invoice the shared service center that, gives it to all the locations. So they're paying tax incorrectly if they're in a state that taxes digital goods or software. So there's a lot of arbitration and sourcing that's a huge issue in the software space. So, and I kind of got my start. I read all the sales tax laws because I did a taxability analysis for an on-prem digital, not even digital, downloaded or added on your disk. That's what they did. And then they pivoted to SaaS. And I'm like, what's SaaS, right? And I had to learn how the technology worked and how they're going to deploy. But it affected invoicing. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, there's still a lot of misunderstanding of what SaaS is. And actually, I'm not sure it's a great description. I mean, software as a service, what's that mean? Does it really only mean that you pay monthly? And I think a lot of people think it's all it is you pay monthly. The fact that it gets delivered to you monthly, delivered to you electronically or remotely accessed, those aren't inherent in the phrase software as a service.
Mm-hmm. No, it's really interesting area as it's pivoted, and it's a recurring revenue. It's like toilet paper. Yeah. It gets used up, and then you need to keep using it. I mean, it is a great business model.
Yes, it is.
Really.
Yeah.
Because that's your best business model as a consumable good. But I mean, I just thought that's not your best market, right? You want toilet paper. You're using it up constantly. You have to replace it. That's an annuity contract, just like software.
Yep.
Anyway. All right. We've only gotten to like one question. I don't know if there's more.
Well, in 2020, we learned how valuable toilet paper was. So never again.
Never again.
Hopefully, knock on wood.
No, it'll happen again.
Find a rabbit's foot.
We're all going to get
it'll happen again.
measles now. That's what we're all going to get.
And so, Scott, you had kind of discussed a little bit of this when you were talking through kind of the Illinois component and the amount of returns that you all file and taxpayers you represent. What types of metrics does Avalara track from taxpayers across America? And do you have any other examples beyond the Illinois? And then what do you all do kind of with that information to build insights and to shift and pivot? And it sounds like you have the ability to take that to states. I would say, a lot of people are really worried about what people do with data, and it's not as if you're hoarding information, but you have an idea of how many Illinois taxpayers you have to support a greater good. So what does Avalara kind of do with the information that it does get, and what kind of information do you get?
So we get nothing really more than what you would get in a normal retail sale. So we get a product code that presumably comes with a description. We have a description once in a while, not always. Well, we have product code. We have, the retail selling price, the things that go on the invoice. We basically get the invoice. And with the product codes, we don't get the brown shoes. We get a product code that's somebody has said that's brown shoes fits within this product code. And then we get the delivery address.
Okay.
And honestly, we don't really do much with them. We get this data. Because we're a worldwide company. The privacy laws outside the United States are much more strict than the United States.
I just did a sleep story with that on Calm. It was the whole Privacy Act in Europe.
Yep. Yeah. So
I fell back to sleep.
So we're exceptionally careful about what we keep, what we collect, and what we keep And
Okay.
we honestly do very little we store it. And we only store it as long as it's necessary, as long as we think a reasonable state would expect someone to keep it.
Okay. But then you compile it and you say, I know we have 7,000 taxpayers.
Well, so that,
you can use that to advocate.
Yeah, that's a different kind of data. I mean, so the stuff we get from our customers, we're very careful about, and we don't keep, we don't use it for anything, and we don't keep it any longer than, what a state would require us to keep it.
Okay.
What we know about our customers is a little bit different. I mean, obviously we know where they collect sales tax.
Yep.
Actually, no, that's even more. We know where they make sales.
Yeah, that's true, because they may not choose to collect.
They may not collect.
Or they might not have nexus.
That's right.
I mean, yeah.
And so we know where their one address is. We know where one address is for them.
Yep.
We know what kind of shopping cart or accounting system that they use.
Yep.
Because we have to build a connector to that.
Yep.
We have over a period of time, we have a really good feel for what they sell, because we get the product codes that they run through the system. And we know where we know what jurisdictions they're making sales into. We don't care.
Okay.
We don't care about we have no reason to save an address once we've determined that address is tied to Denver, Colorado. Because all we need we need that for that one simple moment in time where it gives us the Denver, Colorado sales tax rate. Because at that point in time, we know we're going to build a Denver, Colorado sales tax return.
Okay.
And a state of Colorado sales tax return. Otherwise, we don't need the address at all. It just takes up space. But we know where they make, we know jurisdictions they make sales in. We know where they collect tax, where they don't collect tax. Sometimes we presume that they know what they're doing, and that when they're not collecting tax, when they're selling something we know is clearly taxable, and they're not collecting tax, we presume they know what they're doing, that they have made a conscious decision, because that's one of the things we won't change on our customers' behalf. We won't go in there and tell them you got to turn your tax on right now because you're in trouble. We won't do that. We count on you, Judy, to do that.
That's supposed to be the job of that's the job of the taxpayer, 100%.
That's where the partnership comes in. We know how many returns we will file in a state.
That's super important. That's a big advocacy thing. I mean, that's a wonderful thing you're using.
And we know what tax. Well, obviously we have lodging tax customers, and they collect sales tax in some states.
Yep.
Some states it's lodging tax. So we know where a state or local government has a lodging tax versus the sales tax. Because there's a number of states that tax hotel rooms, but they don't. It's not a lodging tax. Mm-hmm. Whereas the local government that the state capital is in has a lodging tax. So we know that we have to be able to distinguish that, but that's not really nothing about our customers. That's more about the tax structure.
Correct.
Right.
I am just surprised when you said Illinois. They only had 30,000 taxpayers
that switched
that
on that
were impacted.
Yes.
What does that mean? The rest of them were in-state taxpayers. Yep. That's what I want to know.
So
that's not very many.
No, they had three types. There's three types. There's the in-state. Everything occurs inside the state. Those people are all origin sourcing. They had the out-of-state completely, no in-state at all. Yep. Those were all and that was a big group of people. So those people didn't change. They had that group of people that were located outside the state but had some sort of physical presence in the state. And that was the group that was collecting the state use tax.
Gotcha.
And that was the group that they wanted to change.
Because even in Colorado, when I heard how many registrants they had, I'm like, that's not very many.
Yeah. No,
I just don't think there's a lot of compliance in America. I get little calls from different investors when you guys were public. And now they call me about Vertex because I think they're the only other one that's public in the space. They're like, so do you think that the business is done? There's no more growth? I'm like, no. We haven't even tapped 10% of the market. There's so many businesses that are just flying under the radar, hoping they don't get caught. Don't know if they'll succeed, so they don't want to go ahead and comply. Like, it's a constant push-pull. Or you've got some older businesses that are very manual. They're not ready to automate. You have a lot of shifting happening, and there's still a lot of ramp time to go as far as. And then there's new businesses coming up every day.
All the time. Yeah,
every day.
I'm surprised how many of our customers go out of business. It's
really,
it's a lot. And but you think about it, you drive around town, and you'll turn left, and you think, well, where did that store go that was right there? Now it's all boarded up, or it's dark, and retailing's hard bit. Retailing is really hard work.
It is.
You've got to have deep pockets, and remarkable timing, or no sense whatsoever to go into retailing.
Well, because even Amazon, I think they make all their money on AWS. The actual Amazon doesn't super profitable, and it's just super manual, the returns, all that stuff. Just so much organizational management, and then you have low margins.
Yep.
But my client was Blockbuster at Deloitte.
Oh.
And then my client was Netflix.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So I was like one of the first subscribers with Netflix when they had discs. And then Meredith, she taxed what did you tax? She researched the taxability. Was it streaming, Mer?
Downloaded movies. It was pre-streaming.
Downloaded movies, pre-streaming. For Dish Networks 100 years ago.
A different. But yeah, but there was nothing akin to that. So we had to kind of, we were looking at the downloaded software's rules and making, kind of parallels between what a downloaded movie is versus downloaded software.
Oh, yeah.
And there wasn't a lot out there because
digital good.
Yeah, there was no statutes.
Didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, no statutes.
Everything's
no
a digital good.
No guidance.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
Sales tax were 1922. People came in with their horse and they gave a token and they left. I don't even know that got converted to money.
I had Kevin Milligan, who's a senior person in the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue.
Okay.
Gave me a sales tax token from Pennsylvania. I got to find that.
Oh my God, I would love to have one of those.
I need to find it because it's too important to lose, and I could easily lose it. But yes, you're right. In the early times, you got a token.
Yeah. It's such old law.
Yep.
And now we have this new technology impacting it. I just got a lead from a client out of a foreign country. They're doing some kind of clothing. They did $1 million, and last year they did $15 million.
Oh my God.
1 million to 15. Oh. That's insane.
That's great. That's a great product. What are they selling?
I don't know. I actually went online to look at that today. I think they're using you actually. Oh. So they already kind of knew, and they're in a foreign country. So I thought my issue was take a step back. What are your entities? I need to understand that to make sure, because, if there's no treaty, there's other issues that everybody's like, there's no barriers to entry. We'll just sell to you. And I'm like, you can't do that without some tax consequences. Anyway.
There's one barrier of entrance, but it's an easy one. We can help you with that one.
That's right. Yeah. Get your license, get figured out.
Get it out. Yes.